Okay, now we're going to look at nots in contractions. So remember, negatives are emphasized. They get stressed. They're loud function words, but we still make contractions with them.
Don't equals do not.
I don't do it. So instead of I do not do it, which you can say I don't do it, and you stress don't. I don't do it. Stress don't and do. Don't do. I don't do it. Now for this, you need to make sure that you are having a held T, which is in your throat and your nose at the same time because it's an NT. Don't. So you're holding your breath but making it a little bit nasal. I don't do it.
I'm not equals I am not.
I'm not doing it. Now, if I want to say I am not, I'm going to contract the I am to I'm, and I'm going to keep the not separate and really stress not. I'm not doing it. Of course, somebody might say, I ain't doing it. And that's really informal and bad grammar, but you'll hear it sometimes. I ain't doing it. Ain't.
He isn't equals he's not equals he is not. Only stress the part in red.
He isn't doing it.
He isn't doing it. He isn't eating it.
You could also say, he's not doing it. Either one. He's not or he isn't. So you could contract it either way.
They aren't doing it. They're not doing it. They are not doing it.
They're not doing it. Or they aren't doing it. You can say aren't or they're not. It's your choice.
I haven't equals I have not.
I haven't done it. Haven't. You'll stress haven't because it has the negative in it. I haven't done it. I haven't done it.
She hasn't equals she has not.
She hasn't done it. Hasn't. She hasn't done it. She hasn't done it.
I hadn't equals I had not.
I hadn't done it. I hadn't done it.
Notice that we stress had and done. We do not stress the apostrophe NT, the negative contraction part. I hadn't done it.
I hadn't done it. I hadn't done it.
I can't equals I cannot.
I can't do it. Can't. You need to open your mouth a lot on the can, on the a part, but then stop breathing on the NT. Can't. I can't do it.
For NT, trap air in your nose when you stop breathing.
Can't. I can't do it.
I won't equals I will not.
I won't do it. Again, stop breathing on the T. I won't, and let out the air on do. I won't do it. I won't do it.
I shouldn't equals I should not. Use a fast D on should and a held NT on shouldn't.
I shouldn't do it. Shouldn't do. Let out the air on do.
I wouldn't equals I would not.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
We stress would and do, but don't stress I or n. On the other hand, if we made the statement positive and said I would do it, we only stress do, not would.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Mustn't equals must not. You can say mustn't or mustn't, where the T becomes a fast D. Mustn't.
I mustn't do it. It's not all that common in American English, but it's possible to do it.
I mustn't do it, or I mustn't do it. Shouldn't have or shouldn't have equals should not have.
I shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have. I don't even have to have a held T. Just shouldn't have. I shouldn't have done it. shouldn't have done it.
I shouldn't have robbed the bank. I shouldn't have robbed the bank.
If you want to be more informal, you can even say shouldn't with no V. I shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have. I shouldn't have done it.
Wouldn't have equals wouldn't have or wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have done it. Or I wouldn't have done it.
Must not have equals mustn't have or mustn't or mustn't have or must not have.
I mustn't have done it. Or I mustn't have done it. You can also keep the T and say, I mustn't have done it. Mustn't have. I mustn't have done it. Or I mustn't have done it.
Or I must not have done it. Not of. I must not have done it. Let's practice negative contractions. Will she do it? She hasn't done it and she isn't doing it. She won't do it because she can't do it and she shouldn't do it. Now try it with me. Will she do it? She hasn't done it and she isn't doing it. She won't do it because she can't do it and she shouldn't do it. Why not watch again? Keep practicing.